stay in hotels, they eat in restaurants, they shop at the malls, they go to the clubs, and they buy tickets, and that's where. And then people do get employed when the UFC rolls into town. People work on, from production to many other things. I mean, if you've ever seen a live UFC event and how big it is and how many people actually work on it, it's pretty crazy. So that number comes from all the different variables of money that would be spent in the city at that time. When I tell you we've spent money and we've used some muscle, it's just a testament to how powerful one man can be in a state, which is crazy. I mean, is that democracy? No, it's not. It's a slap in the face to democracy that one man is the most powerful politician in the entire state, where he can actually block progress, revenue, jobs, and the list goes on, and that's what Shelley Silver is doing here in the state of New York.
How much money?
It is blatant. It's a blatant, like he doesn't give a, he could care less. It's so blatant, and the things that are surrounding him right now, you know what I mean? Just show the power and the complete arrogance.
How much have you and the UFC put towards special interest groups to try to move this along legislatively?
Millions of dollars.
How many millions?
Too many millions. More millions than I should have spent. How about that?
You regret it? The amount that you spent?
Do I regret it? It's part of the process. It's what you do. It's regrettable that this guy is that powerful, and like I said, like one guy can decide everything in the state. He's more powerful than the governor. He's more powerful than he's the most powerful politician in the state of New York. Well, let me tell you this. I've been very nice to Shelley Silver. I've kept my mouth shut. I haven't said a word, about anything, and now I'm just at the point now where, and now that I'm talking, I'm sure we're not going to be here anytime soon.
Yeah. Not even allowed to go to the floor.
Yeah, well, we made all the votes to get to the floor, and he won't allow it to go.
Knowing how close, he's the one guy, knowing how close it is, do you still, despite all of this, him being hurt, remain positive that it will come to the
When he's gone, probably not time. Everybody knows it. All the media here in New York knows it. Everybody knows it. Does he care? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe we will. What's up? You know what? There's a whole other piece of the UFC that handles that.
Having an event in Madison Square Garden
it's not really about that. I mean, we've done and continue to do events in all the biggest venues in the world. We break records and ticket sales and all these other things. It's not about what it would do for us. We're going to continue to put on events whether we're in New York or not. But yeah, it should happen in New York. We should be in New York City. The fans here in New York are people all over the world that want to see Madison Square Garden for their business should be able to hold a UFC event. You can watch it on television here. You can drive right across the water and go to Jersey and watch it. And, there's no reason it shouldn't be here.
One of the system is that there's online betting that makes it possible for people not to go to the actual venues to weigh in on certain fights. Do you think that's going to adversely affect revenue and those things?
What's the question?
If people can bet online on the outcome of certain fights.
People can bet online on football, baseball, basketball, cockroach races, and every other thing. I mean, you can bet on anything online. It's no different than any other sport. It wouldn't affect us one way or the other. Yeah. Are you saying that people, because they could bet online, they wouldn't come see the fights live?
Not necessarily. I'm asking.
Sir, that is the craziest question anybody could ever ask. That makes absolutely no sense. Edit that one. All right. Show you. funny, man. Ariel asked me earlier, and the guy asked me here today. It's funny how, you know, the sport continues to grow and all these great things that continue to happen, but it's funny because the people who are the closest to it, the hardcores, are always screaming doom and gloom, like about the ratings and you know, the ratings. When you're number one on all of television and all the demos that they actually care about, I don't understand how it's just so fucking weird to me to hear these kind of questions from the people who are the closest to it. And when you start to see, you know, Hollywood and all these other mainstream, whether it's sponsors, Hollywood, or whoever else it might be, going after the athletes that are in the UFC, from Nike to now, you know, Reebok and Under Armour and all these other guys that are interested now in getting into this business. And the fact that Fox is in a long-time deal, they continue to grow. They're launching a fucking network with the UFC that everything is negative and doom and gloom. It's like it's the weirdest.
Yeah.
The internet has so much control and power over media and what is it's fucking mind-boggling to me.
How can we better cover the sport that shows sort of the beauty of the athletes, all the great things that are going on?
I mean, it happens anyway. It already does. I think that, you know, I just think that, you know, the media, all the media is so controlled. And I don't even know if I want to say it's controlled, but it's influenced. Thank you. Very influenced by the internet and social media.
Dana, when you told that gentleman to edit that question out, it reminded me of the Sports Illustrated interview that you had. The final product, did you watch it and did they take stuff out?
Oh, they took a ton of shit out. Wow. They fucking chopped that thing to fucking death.
How bad was it, the original?
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. You know, I made my peace with them, so, you know, I think they get the point. They understood what I was saying. You shouldn't be talking about something that you have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, they did a lot of edits to that piece.
Do you remember anything you said that they took out that was?
Like I said, yeah, I remember lots of things. But like I said, I don't want to. I'm not out to hurt Sports Illustrated or the people that were on that panel. But what they did was their irresponsible journalism was hurting our sport. You know, and that's why I went after them the way that I did. Not one person on that panel watched the fight. Not one person on that panel knows anything about MMA, which is one of the things that she pointed out. We're not mixed martial arts experts. Well, you're a sports reporter. And when you consider yourself a sports reporter, they don't just cover MMA, they don't just cover baseball, they don't just cover football, they cover sports. You better know a little bit about every sport that you talk about. You don't have to be an expert on everything, but at least know the basics and the guy talking about, it's not as regulated as boxing. What? Are you seriously? You're on a Sports Illustrated panel? You don't belong on a Sports Illustrated panel. Whoever that guy was, you know, they should all be embarrassed by that, and I think they were. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going to say anything to disparage them or try to hurt them. I think they got the point.
But does it make the situation worse because they have reporters at Sports Illustrated who cover the sport?
How about they could have picked up the phone? How about they could have picked up the phone and said, "Oh, we're in the crunch here. We need to know about this fight." And they could have called any of their experts and got a fucking 2-minute download on what really happened and went on. You know, and then she's trying to argue to me that, well, you know, at the end we concluded that we thought it wasn't that the fight wasn't fixed. Yeah. With a ton of fucking shit that wasn't true, no facts whatsoever, and the shit that you didn't act like you didn't know was actually wrong. You know? It's not as. Huh?
Do you think that people can formulate opinions and just talk about fighting more than they can talk about other sports as fighting?
Yeah, well, the hard part is now it's like I love that you can have this one-on-one with the fans and social media and how fast information travels, but now it's like the fucking wild, wild west. Anybody can jump in and start reporting and say whatever they want, and, you know, it's a little frustrating sometimes, but I'm used to it, man. I've been in this internet world now for, 13 years, but it's a whole nother level when you're sitting there watching Sports Illustrated do it.
You counter that a lot? You counter questions about fight fixing? It seemed like at the beginning people would compare it to WWE, but lately, this has been the first time in a while, right, that this has come up?
so let's talk about fight fixing. Let's really talk about what fight fixing means and what it would, and why you would do it, right? To fix a fight, what would be the purpose? Either you're gonna bet money. You know, somebody's gonna lay down some money, and you knew. And usually, if you do something like that, the odds are huge. You got a guy who's 10, 12, 15, 30 to 1, right? And somebody would go make a bet or whatever. It's a huge business. I'm not fucking betting on them. You know what I mean? Why would we fix the fight? What would be the purpose of fixing an Anderson Silva fight? The guy's on the longest run ever. He's the greatest fighter. Okay, so let's play devil's advocate. Ooh, he loses. He got the biggest rematch ever and all this other shit. If it ever came out that you fixed a fight, it destroys all the fucking credibility and everything that you've built for the last 13 years. And no matter how much money you make on that second fight, now your business is ruined forever. And so is your credibility. It makes no fucking sense. It's the same thing when people say, oh, they paid TJ Grant to fake an injury, or they did this or did that. Dude, I can't. I'm more upfront and honest with the media about everything that goes on than most of the fighters are. You know, most of the fighters don't want shit being put out into the open, the stuff that I put out into the open. You know? We're a pretty open book here, and to even fight fixing is just the stupidest thing you could ever say.
For the record, I don't think that, obviously I think it's the most ludicrous thing in the world, but I think a lot of people thought Anderson could have fixed it, because you know how that goes. You could bet against, you know what I mean?
You're going to bet against himself at 2-1?